Hello, CQ, calling CQ the Old Friends Net. CQ the Old Friends Net. This is WA4LLR. Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, calling CQ the Old Friends Net. This net meets 3 times weekly. Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m., Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. The net's conducted in the Amplitude Modulation mode, carried out in the roundtable format. The net is a great place to look for parts, maybe swap or sell a rig, look for one that you're wanting to add to your collection, catering mainly to the vintage equipment enthusiasts, but we welcome anyone with any rig that can generate an AM signal. So I'll take check-ins and we'll get everybody seated around the table. So those wishing to participate in the Old Friends Net, give me a call and come now.
N4LQ.
WB4ARK.
K4CDN.
KN4R. All right, so far we have N4LQ, WB4ARK, K4GDN, and KN4R. Do we have others today?
W4MEC.
Recognizing Charlie, W4MEC. Do we have anyone else? One more time down the list, N4LQ, WB4ARK, K4GDN, KN4R, W4MEC. One more standby. Any other station? Good morning, gentlemen, on this 4th day of September. And I hope everybody is doing well today. Currently, we've got about 56 degrees and rain. And looks like thunderstorms in the offing. Running the Johnson Viking 500 and receiving on the National NC 183D. Hope to see several of you fellas down at the Old Friends Luncheon here in a few hours, so we'll go ahead and get started. Steve, here it comes. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR is N4LQ. Well, good morning. What there is of you. Yeah, I know it's Thursday morning, and it's looks like a pretty day fixing here. This is showing 60 degrees here in Shelby. Little bit of a mist out there, but I think it's going to be a little warmer. 83 is going to be the high, and not a whole lot to report here. I'm trying to get myself together for the trip to Spartansburg. I got John, KZ4B, and Gary, K3OS, coming down. And John's I'm sure he's all fired up for some chicken liver. So look out. I've kind of lost my enthusiasm after a couple of tries here lately. I'm not sure, they just didn't satisfy me. Last time they were so hard that John tried to cut one with a fork or something, and it flipped off the table and shot across and landed in my lap. So I don't know. I'll try a few, see how it goes. Well, buddy, good morning. It's yours, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. I'd like to have seen that flying chicken liver. That was good. Anyhow, it's 64 degrees here in Lake Wiley, and clear skies, clear as it can be. So I don't know if those storms are headed this way or not, Dave. I wonder if you could give us a break on what the weather's going to be like down this way in a little while. Not much going on here right now. We got most of the problem solved with the signal system with Duncan's layout, and so we're moving on to other documentation, and things are looking really good. We got to go over to Butch Gibbons and pick up a meter that needs some repair. So we'll get that done, and then we'll be in pretty good shape. So I guess we'll just since John's not here today, I don't know. I guess he's going to be on his way to your house, Steve. Maybe with Brian. I don't know why he couldn't be on. Well, anyway, K4GD and WB4ARK.
WB4ARK and the old friend. This is K4GDN in Myrtle Beach, where it's clear, and I guess we're in the low 70s, but we're not expecting to have any rain before the weekend. And it's supposed to heat up a little bit. The humidity's going to be too. It'll be getting muggy again. This morning I'm on the Ranger 2. It looks like I'm putting out about 40 watts to the in-fed halfways, and we're receiving everybody pretty well. We're receiving on the HRO 5A1, and the band seems to be in pretty good shape this morning. I had planned to get on with the vacuum too, but I've got some minor problem there. I've got it on the bench, taking all the screws out of that bottom plate, and I'm looking around. I really don't see anything so far. Haven't really got into it yet. But anyway, that's what the situation is here. I wish I could make it to the luncheon, but I'm afraid that's a little bit too much of a hike this morning. So with that, it's coming from Brian, KN4R, the group K4GDN.
Okay, George, very good. K4GDN in the old friends. It's Brian, KN4R, Cheryl's Ford. We're at 63 degrees and a beautiful day out there today. And John, KZ4B, just called me a few minutes ago asking if I was going to the luncheon. Unfortunately, I have a VA appointment, so I won't be, but I hope the chicken livers are good today. Let's see, I'm on the GRC9 here, and a little amplifier running about 60 watts or so. And buddy, I wonder if that was a KWM2 meter that you're going to fix for Butch. So, let's see, I'm trying to see if I got anything else. Charlie, take it away, W4MEC in the group, KN4R.
Okay, Brian, KN4R in the group, W4MEC. Good morning, everybody, and it's 53 degrees and overcast here today, so we've got rain to overcast to clear skies, so it's either going away from us or coming towards us. Anyway, everybody's got a great signal today. George, you're loud and clear, no problems, and we went back out to the garage today to run the SX100, the X100B, and everything seems to be percolating along. Almost didn't make it. I was hanging my bird feeders out, and I dropped the darn one of my hummingbird feeders. I dropped it on the ground out there, and it opened up and pulled everything out. So I had to clean it. We didn't have any more hummingbird food, so I had to split the difference between one of the other ones, and I'm still about halfway. So. Anyway, we're still getting a few hummingbirds here in the morning and the evening. So we've been having a couple of hawks bothering us here lately, and they've chased most of the birds away. And it's interesting. The crows will chase the hawks away. We've been hearing the crows working the area here last couple of days too. And I don't hear any hawks this morning, and I hear some birds chirping. So maybe hawks have finally moved on. They kind of harvest an area and then go to the next one. So that's good. Get the birds to come back. Back to you, Dave. WA4LLR in the group W4MC.
All right, Charlie, fine business. Good copy on everybody. Do we have any other check-ins for the old friends? Come now. Okay, I guess 6 of us is the crowd. I know John's whetting his appetite for chicken livers and getting on the road. Cliff's up visiting the Ark, and I couldn't tell you where the other guys are, but definitely a light turnout today. Let's see. We got about 3/4 of an inch of rain yesterday morning. It was rained about all morning here. So got things nice and green again, and it's raining this morning. And buddy, it looks like it's going to go north of you. The best I can tell from the radar projection, it's moving northeast, and it looks like the biggest parts are going to go above you. Of course, you know how it is. It can change at any moment. George, the Ranger 2 sounds really good, and Brian, I always like that GRC9. It's got the punch to it. Charlie, I think the weather's coming to you. It should be there before too long. The X100 is working well. Sorry about the Hawks. Maybe the Crows can take care of the issue for you. And sorry about dropping the hummingbird feeder. That sounds like something I would do. We got a whole bunch of hummingbirds here all of a sudden. I guess they're all getting stocked up for the trip south before long. But they've really been feeding heavy for the last few days. Let's see, not a whole lot more going on. Space weather is pretty good. Sunspot count's 128. Solar flux index is 180, and the K is 2.33. The results of the CME have kind of died down, and it gives us pretty good conditions. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1957, Ford introduced its much ballyhooed new model, the Edsel, named in honor of Henry Ford's son. And of course, we know the result of the Edsel. On this day in 1861, Confederate forces entered Kentucky. On this day in 1866, Geronimo surrendered. On this day in 1888, George Eastman patented the Kodak camera. On this day in 1914, a French general gave orders to attack the U.S. battleship. No, I'm sorry, wrong one. 1914, general gave the order to attack at the Marne. On this day in 1951, President Truman made the first transcontinental television broadcast. And I'm sure he got his news from an SX-28. Let's see, what else? On this day in 2016, Mother Teresa became a saint. So that's a few things from this day in history. Down to you, Steve. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Yeah, WA4LLR, N4LQ. On that SX-28, man, oh man. I guess I just missed something, because apparently it's widely known that he had that SX-28, Truman did, sitting on the lower shelf there behind his chair on the credenza, or whatever that was. And I don't know much more than that. I did look it up, though, and it's something every ham needs to know, I guess. But I just wonder if he ever really listened to it. Anyway, fine on the Edsel. Yeah, I remember when that came out. I guess it was around 57, 56, 57 was the first one, I think. And I remember going to looking at with Dad at the showroom. And they were big. There was a big, square-looking car. Had a lot of room in it. Big V8. And but I think Bob Hope and some of those comedians made fun of the looks of the grill, and they called it a lemon sucker. I guess it could be thought of as that, but I didn't think it was all that ugly. but it's supposed to have been a pretty good car compared to like the likes of a Lincoln or something. The one I remember was the Edsel Ranger, so I guess that was Ford's first Ranger. Yeah, I hope Cliff is enjoying the Ark up there. We left Louisville before that was built, I believe. I'm not sure when that got put together. It must have been right after 2008 or something like that. We just never did see it. The Ark is up there at the Creation Museum in Kentucky, and we have been there a couple of times. That's a nice place to visit while you're looking at the Ark. Anyhow, Charlie, sorry about your hummingbird feeder disaster. Hope you can recover from that, and hope you guys that are coming have a good, safe trip down to Spartanburg. I wonder who is coming. So let's go over to let's see, Buddy, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK, okay, Steve. I had a couple of things, and I forgot one of them. Still trying to remember what that was, anyhow, the meter, Brian, I'm not sure about. I don't think it's in the Collins line. I think it's something else. Yeah, I think it's an older model of a meter, not a modern meter built in the 60s or 70s. And so I guess that's about it. I guess John is on his way to your house, Steve, since he won't be riding with Brian. And I guess that's it. So over to K4GDN, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK and the old friend, K4GDN. And sounds like everybody's coming in fairly well down here this morning in Myrtle Beach. The band is in pretty good shape. Adam Webster on the Ranger's getting out with its 40 watts, which is about typical for the Ranger. This Ranger 2 is the I'm the only one that's ever had it on the air. It's kind of a strange way I got it. Anyway, it's been a good little transmitter. This was my first transmitter when I got back into amateur radio for about I guess maybe a 30-year hiatus. I was off in college and in the Navy and working to bring up a family. Anyway, like I say, everybody's coming in here fairly well this morning, and that's kind of interesting about Harry Truman and his little helicopter radio. I saw somebody had a picture of it. I thought that was kind of interesting. The only one I ever really knew that was in amateur radio was Barry Goldwater. Seen him pictures, lots of pictures of him around at the time. And I do remember when it came out. I guess I was about 11 or 12 years old. And it did look a little different than most of the other cars. It definitely had a different grill. And apparently it just didn't go over too well, and I'm not sure why at that time. There were a couple of cars around that time that changed their looks quite a bit. I remember the 58 Chevrolet was a bit different than the 57, and the 59 was grossly different than the 58. And everybody complained about the looks of the 58. And the big engine it had, the 348, apparently they hadn't got all the bugs out of it yet. But anyway, see that as it may. With that, I'm going to pass it on to you there, Brian. KN4R and the group K4GDN.
Okay, George, very good. K4GDN in the group KN4R. Your signal came up that time, George, so very good. And it's great seeing you at Shelby, by the way. Hope you found something. And let's see. I apologize that I'm not going to be at the luncheon. I've already blocked out my calendar with repeating events now, so that I can't make that mistake again. So, and by the way, Helicrafters was the largest supplier of radio gear to the government during World War II for use by the government employees. So, it makes sense that he had an SX-28 there. So, let's see. Got a bunch of things to do today after I get back home. Going to try to take advantage of this weather and get my 160-meter antenna back up today or tomorrow or the next day, sometime soon. So anyway, and okay on the hummingbirds, Dave and Charlie. We've only had 2 here, and they seem to be in a perpetual tussle in terms of who gets the feeder. But anyway, my wife blew out her knee a bit, and she's doing okay, but they're just starting to, she's getting the cortisone shots now, and then they'll get the gel treatment after that, and then eventually they'll replacement knees. So anyway, that's okay. So back at you, Charlie. W4MEC in the group, KN4R.
Real good, Brian. KN4R and the group, W4MEC. Good copy all around. Yeah, we've got, I think 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know, and they do kind of argue over the feeder. It's always nice to see them land and quit flapping their wings. You know, a lot of times, all our 3 of them have got perches on them, and but some of them will sit there and drink out of it and keep flying, and some of them will sit on the perch and take a breath or 2, I guess. And yeah, they're going to get tanked up here before heading off, and I think the latest we've seen a hummingbird is around October 15th here. It's amazing. Just one day they're all gone, and well, you get some stragglers. Stragglers rather. I think our regulars go, but then we get stragglers making their way back to Mexico or wherever the heck they're going that way. Fly over the Gulf of Mexico. That's amazing. Navigation systems are taking, even though they've never been there, even the brand new ones, brand new baby hummingbirds that have never made the trip before, and they don't travel in flocks. And they just get up and time to go to Mexico, and they take off. I think some are going to Florida too now. So anyway, it's an amazing little bird there. Let's see. My wife got her driver's license yesterday, renewed, and let me tell you, she applied for an appointment back in May. Her license was due in November, and she applied for an appointment back in May, and they gave her one in Farquhar Marina. You know, and that ain't necessarily across the road from Henderson County. So she learned the trick about getting an appointment, and that was to immediately at midnight, a few seconds after midnight, hit that portal for making an appointment, and you will get an appointment. So she got one for Tuesday morning at 8:30, which she was there bright and early, and they told her there was a 3-hour wait. So the end result of that was that they made her another one for yesterday, and she walked in there at 9 o'clock, and apparently we didn't have much of a wait and got her license. And even though she brought all the paperwork that said to bring from the North Carolina DMV website to get there, and she said, all you needed was your old license. So, and she showed it to the woman at the license bureau and said, here it is right here, and it says plain as day, you need this, 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 and this to renew a driver's license. And she says, well, I don't know why that's there, but it's all wrong. So if you need to renew your license, all you need is your old one, and make the appointment immediately after 12 midnight. So WA4LR, W4MC.
Okay, that's good information. Any other check-ins for the old friends? Come now. All right, WA4LLR. I think next year is when I have to get mine renewed. Did it online the last time, but I hope that it's calmed down a little by then, but who knows. Brian, sorry to hear about your wife's knee. And yep, I know how that goes. You know, they want you to try therapy. They want you to try the cortisone injection. They want to try everything leading up to the replacement. I was fortunate with my hips. I didn't have to go through all the steps because the X-rays plainly showed it bone on bone. So how I got to avoid all the other mess, I don't know. Evidently the doctors that I used had good connections somewhere. And Brian, that's interesting. I didn't realize Hallicrafter was the major supplier of the government during the war. I would have picked Collins, but that's interesting to know. And George, good deal on using the radio that you first used when you got back into the hobby. Buddy, good luck on the meter repair. I'm sure you can do a great job at it like you do on all the other engineering technical stuff that you do. I left out one all-important item from this day in history. How I could have missed this, I don't know. But on this day in 1998, Sergey Brin and Larry Page filed the corporation papers, or incorporation papers, for Google. Something that every one of us uses every day. So that's been around since 1998. Oh, what else? And Steve, you and John may have started a new sport, chicken liver launch. See who can get the greatest distance out of a chicken liver. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. It's similar to Twiddly Winks, if you remember that game where you took a little plastic thing and tried to flip another plastic thing up into a jar or a can. Boy, that was a tough one. But sometimes they'd go really high when you flipped them. So what do we call that? Liver winks? Anyway, yeah, Google is, I remember when it came out, and I was just amazed. Of course, I was working at the bank, and I've sat there on a computer all day. And back then, I was using a dial-up modem to get into the internet. Even though we had a room full of computers, there wasn't any direct outside connection to the internet except via a dial-up modem. And I was, for a long time, I was the only person in a building full of 500 people that had internet, and people would come to me and ask questions, and I'd try to look it up and find out information. And anyway, I was using something called Alta Vista at the time for, I think that means another view in Latin, but that was one of the better search engines. And then Google came out, and boy, it was all different. Well, I think I've got a bit of trivia here for you. I think it'll help you, Dave, on Irvina's quest to verify her SX28 as the authentic Harry Truman SX28, because I looked it up here. As far as presidents that smoked, Truman was one of the few that was a non-smoker. He drank pretty stout, but he didn't smoke. And it says here that when he moved into the White House, they had to get the draperies dry cleaned from Roosevelt. So if she smells that SX28 and it doesn't smell like cigarette butts, that's probably it. That's probably the one that was in Harry Truman's office. So there's your verification. And as far as going to all these doctors before you can get to the surgeon, I've been through that. My wife has been through it, and it's a process. Part of it is because the insurance company wants to be sure that that something else a little cheaper might take care of it. And the other part is I think all these doctors are in cahoots and they all want a piece of the pie. So over to you, buddy. WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Well, I was going to say the insurance companies are probably pushing this. They want everything to be tested first, because my wife has got back problems and she's been through a lot over the years. Both knees been replaced, and she's got a problem with one of them. She's still got some popping and cracking in it. But the thing I was going to mention, which kind of is directed to Brian, is the Amelia Earhart issue has been back in the news lately on the internet, and been talking about they think maybe she's been found, the aircraft maybe has been found, and so forth and so on. So it keeps going in a circle. It dies down for maybe a year or so, and then it pops back up again. So maybe you have got some more direct information on what's going on right now. It's hard to get things done without going through a doctor, and so that's the situation. Even with a vet, if you have a sick animal and you're trying to get to another vet, more of a specialist, you need a referral. So it's interesting. Well, I'm going to say 73 at this point, because I think the net is coming to a quick end. And thank Dave for calling the net this morning. And we'll send it on to George. K4GDN, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, the old friend, K4GDN. Well, have a good day there, buddy. And speaking of hummingbirds, we only have 3, and that's typically what we get is 3. Starts out as 4, and then the new one comes along, and they're still around. We have our hummingbird feeder fairly close to our screen. Back porches. We sit on the porch and just go out before we see the hummingbirds. Don't have any problems with things getting at the hummingbird feeder other than wasps, and the hummingbirds sure don't like the wasps. Our other bird feeders that we put bird seed in are across the yard under some trees, one of them is a big oak, and the problem there is the squirrels. I've actually had the squirrel, and my wife said she saw a squirrel crawl up the pole to the bird feeder, and the pole is a metal rod that's less than a half an inch in diameter, and the squirrel climbs up 5 feet to get to the thing. But when I'm out there, I'm not here for the squirrels. I take care of them when I get the opportunity. Anyway, good to hear from everybody this morning, and glad to hear that the Ranger 2 is doing a good job. And I'm gonna say 73 on this one, and take a quick look at the Viking 2, see what I can find out there. So Brian, coming to you, and Dave, thanks for calling me there. KN4R in the group, K4GDN. Number 3, guys.
Okay, George, very good. K4GDN in the group, KN4R returning. All right, very good on everything, including the hummingbirds and the mockingbird. By the way, if you get a chance, go to this website. It's called Birdcast, BIRDCAST. It shows what they say, the spectacle of bird migration over your area. It asks you for the state, and then you have to pick your county. And if I, for example, I just put Catawba County, North Carolina in, and it says 61,700 birds passed over Catawba County last night. And that, again, it's a forecast. It's not they're not individually counting birds, but it's very, very interesting website. And Charlie, very good on the license renewal. Mine ran out on August 21st, and I was somewhere, I'm trying to remember where, since then, and someone needed my driver's license to verify something. I can't remember. It was legit, though. And they said, oh, your driver's license expired. And I said, well, we've had a two-year moratorium on that. She looked blankly at me and asked somebody else, and eventually it was okay, but I needed to go get in line. I wonder what test she had to do. I'm assuming an eye test / sign test. The other thing is, and okay, on Fuquay Marina, you're right, I've been on that website, not at midnight though, and Fuquay Marina was the only place that had any capacity. Everybody else was booked solid, so, and I'm not driving to Fuquay Marina. I hear Taylorsville, North Carolina is pretty good. And someone told me if I show up before 8 a.m., like 7:30 or something, and get in line, someone comes out and asks if anybody's over 70, and you get moved to the front of the line. So I may try that tomorrow morning without getting an appointment, but I'll probably not be successful, and then I'll come home and get up on midnight and do that. So anyway, I have enjoyed it. Great signals today, buddy. Dave, thank you so much for handling the net. You've got a huge signal down here, as does everybody. So I hope y'all have a wonderful luncheon, and sorry I'm missing it this time around. So anyway, over to you, Charlie. W4MEC in the group, KN4R73. Standing by, but I'm listening.
Okay, Brian, KN4R and group, W4MEC. Well, we didn't know this either. The road sign test went away in 2016, so the only thing you got to do is pass the vision test. So, once you get in there and get the old eyebrows checked out, you're basically done. The other little factoid is that they give you a temporary license, which is a piece of paper with your picture on it, and good for 90 days, I think. Because they don't make the driver's license at the bureau anymore. Right there, they send the info off to Raleigh, and they print you a license and mail it to you. So, I'll tell you what, I don't know what the deal is with stuff like that. I guess that eliminates hundreds of laminating machines and printers and that can print the cards, the ID, and keeping them sequential by driver's license number. I guess they centralize it all in Raleigh, and they can keep track of all that and not have it spread all over the state. So maybe there's a good reason to do that. Maybe there's a not. I don't know. So I'm sure it's somebody's idea that they thought was good. So anyway, yeah, there's a site for locating hummingbirds. And if you've ever looked at the site about the airplanes in the air, what do you call it? Flight Watch. And you look at like the United States, and the entire country is covered by little airplanes. But as you zoom in, it all separates out, and then you see the airplanes over your area. Well, the hummingbird site's the same way. You look in a general area, zoomed out, and it's red with hummingbirds. But then as you zoom them in, you start seeing where people saw a hummingbird and marked their location. So you're like, all of North Carolina will be solid red, but you zoom into Hendersonville and you'll see 10. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, let's see. I'm going to wait here for the official 73 for all you fellas that took off. I hope to see you at lunch. And George, go out and have lunch and raise a glass of sweet tea and salute us from Myrtle Beach. So, WA4LLR, W4MEC.
All righty. W4MEC. WA4LLR. Well, 7-3, buddy. George and Brian. and interesting about that website, Birdcast. I'll have to check that out. And we've got feeders on the back porch, and I like to sit out there and read, and they're, I guess, just used to me because I can be 3 feet away from the feeder, sitting there reading, and they'll still come and feed. Some of them are a little nervous. They hover while they feed, but I've got some that just, we've seen him before. They come in and land and sit there and drink and don't have much of a problem. Now, if I get up or something like that, they'll leave, but if I'm sitting out there reading and whatever, they'll come right on, even though I'm very close to them. And yeah, how they, the navigation is one thing, but how in the world those little birds can have enough energy without stopping to feed to fly the Gulf and make it all the way into either Mexico or Central America, it just blows my mind. They feed so frequently around the house. Seems like they come by every few minutes and get some food. How they make it all the way across the Gulf without feeding is just incredible to me. But yeah, I always enjoy when the hummingbirds come. So who's left? Steve and Charlie. Well, this ought to be a short 73 round. And yeah, we'll give the SX-28 the sniff test, Steve. But I have been around it with my head in it, and I've not noticed any residual smoke smells. So evidently it's the very one. N4LQ, WA4LL.
All right, I think you pinned it down then, and that should at least double the value of that receiver. Okay, I'm trying to think. I every now and then I see a hummingbird, but we'll be out here on the deck, and one will fly right by our head. About scares you to death. Makes such a racket. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say 73s, and I hope to see you guys down in Spartanburg here shortly. This is N4LQ saying 73s, and over to Charlie, W4MEC, N4LQ.
Okay, Steve, N4LQ in Group W4MEC. All right, thanks for running that, Dave, and we will hopefully see you all at lunch here in a little while. You'll have a safe trip too, and talk to you this evening, I hope. Couldn't make it last night, didn't get home till 8:30. So we try our best if we're home. A lot of times we're just not. 7-3 all, we'll see you later. WA4LLR and the old friends W4MEC. Bye-bye.
Charlie, before you head out, what's your prediction on I-26? Trying to decide which way I'm going to go today.
All I can say is check the darn navigation thing on your computer before you leave. People have been saying it's actually better now if you got, 4 lanes coming this way, then down to 3, and then down to 2. So if here in Hendersonville, and nobody's had a wreck on the gas bridge, you're good to go, because there ain't no other way. You can't go through Saluda anymore. There's no prediction on when 176 will be repaired between Saluda and Tryon. And the only other option you got on the big jam up is to get off the Saluda exit and take Holbert Cove Road all the way down that wiggly thing down to Silver Lake, and then over to Highway 9 that way. So that's always an option, but that's a heck of a detour. But sometimes if you sit there for 3 hours, it's worth it. So anyway, the prediction is it can't be predicted. It's all in the drivers, and it's always the ones going too fast. WA4LLR, W4MC.
Okay, good enough. Well, have a safe trip. We'll catch y'all later. 7-3, God bless. WA4LR closing the Old Friends Net. Bye.